Hi. Oh my God, today I got stuck in a lift. I've actually, my whole life, never ever been stuck in a lift. So today was such an experience. So I was on my way home from work. This is a lift from in at work in the office. So I was on my way home, and usually I never use the lift because it's only 2 floors. So I was carrying because I got a brand new laptop because I needed to replace my laptop because it got a crack, and I was carrying this box, the box with the laptop, with the new laptop, my bag with my old laptop, and then my lunch box in another bag. So obviously I had all these things to carry, and I just thought I'm not gonna go down the stairs, otherwise I'll be like struggling. So me and another colleague of mine, he actually held the lift for me because we were both going downstairs, and he usually uses the lift because he's got a problem with his leg. So he held the lift for me, and I got in the lift. Just as we get in the lift, 2 seconds later, the lights in the lift went off. And then after the lights went off, the lift just dropped, like maybe I could say about a meter. It literally just went from where it was, and it went boom down. And we were like, oops. It's a good thing there was only just two of us. And I think that the light turning off, the lights turning off probably made it better, because then by the time the lift did dropped, we already knew something was wrong. It's like you already figured something was wrong by this point. So eventually we're like, well, it's fine. Something, what could go wrong? It's a lift. There's obviously a fail-safe mechanism that allows, if there's a fuse problem, or if a fuse is gone out, something else is just gonna come on, and we'll be fine. The doors will open, we'll be fine. It's only 1 floor. So my colleague is getting like flustered, and he starts pressing every button possible. There was two buttons, the one for floor one, the one for floor two, and the button for emergency, the ring for emergency button. Nothing else. It's one of those like a smart screen type thing with absolutely nothing on it except for those buttons. And then I'm like, it's okay. Just don't, there's no need for you to keep pressing, because you can see the lights off. Even if you press for us to go back upstairs, if the lights are off, it means something is definitely gone wrong. So I'm trying to like just chill, because the more he pressed, the more I could see he was getting himself a little bit flustered or frustrated or panicked, or whatever you might want to call it. It wasn't that much, but I could tell that he's like, what's going on? What's going on? And then I'm like, just ring. We had already rang the emergency bell. There was only three buttons, so we rang. Chances are, once we pressed one button, second button, the third one is the emergency button, and it just keeps ringing, keeps ringing. So about 10 minutes in, because at this point we're like, I don't think anybody is gonna answer this. I just thought, I had just spoken to another colleague of mine in the office, and she was going to have lunch before, she was going to have something to eat before she went home. So I called her and I said, are you still on your desk? And thankfully she was still on her desk. And I says, can you go, we're stuck in the lift. Can you go down to the security and let them know we're stuck? So she's like, she literally had to run. She's running to security, and she's like, do you guys not have a buzzer or something, because people have been stuck in the lift for 10 minutes, and you guys don't even know you're minding. So the person, the the security guy was there, and there's also a facilities manager. She was in a meeting. She was literally in some sort of like senior management meeting, and my colleague is going to her and say, you need to come out because I'm not getting my teammates are stuck in the lift. Somebody needs to do something. So anyway, she's like, oh, my meeting is almost, it's about 30 minutes in, we're almost gonna be done in another 15 minutes. And she's like, well, I'm sure your meeting can be recorded, whatever meeting you were having. But anyway, so after that, they started having like contacting the company for the lift. So about 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we replaced the lift that was there. It was working perfectly. So there was an older lift which had probably been in the building for like 20 years or whatever. So they replaced it with a brand new lift. So I could say 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever the amount of time. I never really used the lift, so I'm not 100% sure as to when it actually started working after they started working on the replacement. So let's say 3 to 4 weeks. And then after that, they put this new lift, totally different lift company, totally different lift manufacturer. So perfectly fine. A brand, it's a more modern lift with different type of touch screen buttons. It's a little bit more modern, more futuristic, if you want to put it that way. So it's a good thing. And then the only problem is when the facilities manager started to try and contact this company, the new lift company, no one was picking up, just like we were trying to ring them, or we were still ringing at this point. We're still ringing them. No one was picking up. And she tried for so long. She tried and tried and tried. And she was also getting frustrated. And after about maybe 15 minutes, my colleague went back downstairs to say, what's going on? What's the progress? And she says, oh, I still haven't been able to get hold of the company. And she's like, well, if you can't get hold of the company, somebody needs to find a way of contacting. You must have some other emergency way. Otherwise, how are they going to get out? We're not going to call for the fire brigades to come and open the door when it's just the lift. So at this point, she then thought, do you know what? We only recently just released an older, our lift company that we always used to use. So by chance, she thought, let me just call them and beg them to send somebody over. So she called, got a phone call got answered straight away, and then she managed to get one of their engineers to come for a lift that doesn't even belong to them, to try and help let us out. While we were in the lift, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, somebody would be coming round, and because we were like on the ground floor at this point, somebody would be coming round and saying, oh, are you guys okay? I hope you're not panicking. And I was like, just leave us alone. Just open the door when it gets open, because I think people were more stressed for us than we were. Obviously we were a little bit, after like an hour, you get to a point where you're like, oh God, I just want to get out of here and just go home. But we started talking about different things. Obviously, this is a colleague of mine, so we know each other. So we were just having conversations and whatnot. And obviously, every time somebody comes to the outside to the lift, they'll start having conversation. I think somebody started giving us like some dad jokes about, just something to keep us our spirits up. And the jokes were so bad. I think one of them was, what did she say? what do you call cats that are disorganized? And apparently it's a catastrophe. And then the other one, what was it? What do you call a deer with no eye? Oh, yeah, a deer with no eye. No idea. Or something like that. I mean, it's funny me talking about it now, and I'm in that lift, and somebody's trying to make me think, and I'm like, seriously, all I could think about doing was just get on my phone and maybe scroll on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, or whatever. I would probably find more interesting jokes than somebody trying to talk dead jokes to me. But eventually, I ended up sitting down. So we were standing at the beginning. And then my colleague who I was in the lift with sat down. And I was like, I'm not going to sit down because my back, the floor is quite hard. And my back would not handle it. But after we'd been there for an hour and a half, I just, you can't stand anymore because it's such a small space and you can't move, you can't do any exercising or anything. So I eventually decided, let me just sit down. But getting up was a hassle, man. It was so bad. And it obviously did my back in because I was sitting on a hard surface for I think about 30 minutes before. And 30 minutes is a long time to be sitting in a confined space on a hard surface. So it kind of did my back in, but it's okay. I'll get over it, I suppose. But that experience, because when my colleague was getting panicked, I was like, don't, just chill, don't worry. And for me to be able to just not even react, not even think, oh, we're gonna stay here all night or whatever. But I knew it was during the day. There were other people in the office, so eventually somebody was gonna figure it out. But it's just unfortunate that the company did not have, the new company did not answer their phone, and they don't have they didn't have contact or anything in the lift for us to contact them. But eventually we got out, and I am hopeful that it doesn't happen again to me. And I was so grateful because a lot of people started sending me messages after and saying, I hope you're okay. I remember being stuck in a lift. Somebody says they were stuck in a lift on the 16th floor of a tourist place where everything was all glass, and they were on the 16th floor, right in mid-air at 2 a.m. I mean, at mid-air 16th floor, and there was 10 people in a small lift in Mexico. Another one said they got stuck. I can't remember where they were. It was a tourist place as well. And I was like, well, it's a good thing I was just in a little close place with just one other person. And yeah, it wasn't so bad. After you hear everybody's stories of how they've been stuck in lifts and what has happened to them, you realize that I was so grateful that it was just one floor, a work lift, and I knew there were people sorting us out. So anyway, so I just thought I'd come up here and talk about my experience today. It was an interesting experience, and one that I do not intend to repeat again. If it does happen, I think now I know that I'm calm anyway. So I'm just calm. What am I gonna do? I'm not an engineer, so I'll just wait until somebody sorts out the problem and then get out and go home. Yep, the only problem was I needed a wee so badly. So that was my only problem. But otherwise, if you're in one place, you're okay. As soon as we got out there, I literally, both of us, we ran to the toilet. I was like, I am desperate like crazy. After being stuck for two and a half, about 2.5 hours. But it's not so bad. Anyway, have a good evening, everybody, and see you next time.